United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, how are you doing?
How's it going? Nice to see you. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. Okay, under recognition of visitors, I had one person that did sign in. I believe it's Connie, it's either Knapp or Knopp? Knopp? Okay, sure. If you'd like to go ahead.
Yes, sir. I just have a question concerning the insurance of the employees here at the school. I know our contract says 35 hours, federal law says 30 hours that they receive insurance. I've worked 30 hours the last 3 years, and I talked to Todd several different times concerning it. And he first told me that they had another year, that all companies, all businesses have another year to delay it. Then he told me that, small companies were gonna have yet another year to delay it, and that he got the school through as a small business. I'm a bus driver here, for those who don't know, and I work in the cafeteria. Other bus drivers have been told different things, so we're really very unclear how any of this works. We have Ernie, who was gonna have 30 hours if he took the Maplewood run, I think it was or St. Joe run. And he quit one of his jobs because he didn't want to lose his Obamacare because he could afford it. So he didn't want to lose it, so he quit one of his jobs, which now has put him to where he's not even grandfathered in, I'm sure, to ever work over 29 hours again. But I was fortunate enough that I am grandfathered in. So I have been working the 30 hours. I was also told that Deanna was having to keep track of all our hours because it would go on, if you worked over 30 hours, it was retroactive. If you worked 30 hours a week, the majority of the school year, then the following year you would get the insurance. But now we have like Kim Eisman and some of our other drivers that have been told, no, any extra stuff doesn't count. So we don't need to keep track of the hours. I am really confused. So I went in and talked to Mr. Freeman there, and I was asking him about it. I met with him 3 different times, and he told me he really has no clue as to how it works. He did tell me that after spring break, we could sit down with Todd and see if we could come to some kind of answer, which I'm not sure why Todd, because Todd doesn't really do the law. He's a good accountant, but he's not the law. But that never came to pass. I never heard anything else about it, and I'm just at a loss. Who does get insurance? At what point do we get insurance? Do we not get it? Who makes that decision? I talked to Brian Munger, and he said it's not really our contract, because our contract says 35 hours, but it is federal law. So he said I needed to first talk to Mr. Brayman, which I did, and if I did not get any kind of a answer and stuff, then I need to bring it before the board. And he said if the board doesn't know, then I need to get an attorney so that we can find out what the law is. Mr. Raymond told me something. He didn't think anybody was real clear as to what it is. He really didn't know. So I'm curious as to what is that law? Do we follow the federal law? Do we not follow the federal laws? And at what point do we get insurance? You know,
Okay.
I'm lost.
Well, my understanding is that there's the confusion was under the Obamacare with the 30 hours, and there is some retroactive and some timing, and it depends on the size of the business. I know Todd's been intimately involved with that, so we'll let Todd give you.
That's why I just give you a brief overview. I did talk to Mrs. Knopp.
Okay.
And I think some of the confusion is, everybody talks to everybody. I'm the only one that talked to Mrs. Knopp. No other bus drivers have come to me to talk about the Affordable Care Act. But the Affordable Care Act is constantly changing. It's been evolving since it's been put in place. So there was a delay for everyone, and then last year we were considered a small group employer, for which we were able to once again postpone the Affordable Care Act kicking into place. I relayed that to Mrs. Knopp. So right now everybody's in a 30 hours per week per average in a look back period. And anybody that meets those 30 hours on average per week during this year will qualify for benefits as of July 1. Now, there's also a provision afforded to us in the Affordable Care Act that we don't have to offer the health insurance to 5% of our employees. So, you know, again, the Affordable Care Act is constantly evolving. We're at a point now where we are in that look-back period, as I said before, and we'll be assessing that and looking at that come July 1 to see who, if anybody, qualifies for health care.
Okay, and anybody who has averaged the 30 hours will then be offered, will have health care for next calendar year.
Correct, but again, there's a provision under the Affordable Care Act that organizations do not have to offer it to 5% of their employees.
Okay.
So you only have to offer it to 95% of their employees. So again, those are decisions that we're going to have to ultimately address prior to July 1st.
Is that 95% of every employee, including full-time, part-time?
Those eligible for insurance.
Okay, so we only have to, only offer it to 95% of those that are eligible?
Correct, there's a provision. in
It's
the
not
Affordable Care
of the
Act.
total employee
Of
base?
those eligible
It's
for
of
health.
just 9, okay, I gotcha, okay,
So that's where we're at.
okay. And have you talked to, have you two?
I have, I've talked to Mrs. Knott.
How did we get, how is the school a small business? I guess I don't understand that, 'cause I heard it was like under 50, you had under 50 employees.
There's a full-time equivalency formula, and our healthcare consultant went through that, through our employees, and they determined that we were a small group employee.
Okay, I apologize for the confusion. I should have started off by that. You know, that's obviously not our goal here, is we want to be able to give you the best, all of our employees, the best information we can in timely fashion. I know that the Affordable Health Care Act has been changing somewhat with the recent, you know, we got the claim, the part with for the small business, and then now the part for the 95%. Some of these things have been somewhat fluid, so but I do apologize. You know, the intent was not to not be able to answer your questions, but it is somewhat of a fluid thing. But we're very comfortable and confident in that we have the latest and greatest as the act stands today.
Yes, that's correct.
So, okay? All right, thank you. All right, also under recognition of visitors, we have the Student Pride Card winners. If we, I don't know which principal is going to start tonight, Anthony?
All right, well, we have a lot of excellent students to announce here this evening. Our first one, I don't know if I saw him, Shane Buhas. Shane here. He's our kindergarten Pride Card winner, and he received this from Mrs. Moon. Shane brought pretzels to share with friends that forgot their snacks. Thank you very much, Shane. That's a very thoughtful young man. Our next winner comes from a very wonderful family. We have a lot of wonderful families here at Waterloo. But this family, in the car ride line, these two young people come and shake my hand every morning. They're both very polite, respectful students. Jenna Kaiser, so if you come up, Jenna. Jenna got this pride card from Mrs. Lewis. You can always count on Jenna to set a good example. She listens and follows the directions all the time. She is a model student, as well as her brother Jason here. So a round of applause for Jenna. Our next student also comes comes from an excellent family of wonderful, respectful children, and that is Clinton Merla. Clinton, come on up here. Clinton received his pride card from Mrs. Lang. Clinton is a good citizen. He follows directions and the rules. He does what his teacher asks him to do, and he is a quiet worker. Thank you, Clinton. Excellent. Our next pride card winner is Sophia Wood. I didn't see Sophia here. Another excellent student. This was from Mrs. Bain. Sophia is a wonderful student who always gives her best. She volunteers to help peers and complete any tasks that need to be done. Thank you, Sophia, for all that you do and all your hard work. And then we have Olivia Denzinger in 4th grade. I don't see Olivia here. This is from Mrs. Stefik. Olivia is a very considerate and helpful girl. She took time to help one of her classmates on his pizza fractions project. You're one of a kind, Olivia. And then finally we have Evan Kugler, who I do not see here, and this is from Mrs. Green. Evan showed the Viking way for cooperative group by researching new information on his own and sharing this with his group. Mrs. Green, they do a lot of group projects and work collaboratively, so Evan does an excellent job in that setting. So that's it for our elementary pride cards. Now our middle school crew.
Okay, our 6th grade pride card winner is Clayton Jacobs. There he is. Come on up, buddy. This is from Mrs. Gregory. Miss Gregory. Clayton helped pick up the classroom after working on a big project. He cleaned up after classmates who did not clean up after themselves. Nice job, buddy.
Good job.
And then from 7th grade is Brooke Waldeck. You don't see Brooke. This is from Mrs. Barkhurst. Brooke is always very nice and sweet to everyone. She is also a hard worker and wants to do everything right. She participates very well in class and always has a great attitude. So congratulations to Brooke. And then this last student is in 8th grade. This is a card from Ms. Warner. And before I call him up, I'm going to point out, and I told his mom I was going to say this. At the end of the day today, this young guy needed a quiet place to finish an assignment, and so his teacher called up to the office. I was sitting in my office alone just working on some reports, and so I said, yeah, let him come up here. And while we were starting dismissal at 2:40, a bunch of kids were going out, everyone was leaving, and Javid kept working on his science project. He didn't give up or finish it. It was about 5 minutes, and I finally looked up. I said, hey, bud, we got to go, or you're going to miss a bus. But he was working hard through that. So anyway, Javid, come on up here. Javid has made great improvements in my class, and I'm very proud of him. Keep pushing yourself to work hard. That's from Ms. Warner. So congratulations. And Mrs. Sandell has our high school color.
Hopefully if I go fast, it'll warm up in here. It's freezing. And I can't start. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Happy birthday, Tom.
Uh-oh.
Happy 50th birthday. 9th grade, Courtney Pruitt. Mrs. English, who is our high school secretary, said, thank you for your help stocking boxes of paper. When we get shipments of paper, boy, it's quite a job to put it all in a room, and our high schoolers step up and help her out, so that's very nice of them. 10th grade, Noah Smith. That was probably working. This is from 3 teachers, Mrs. Dean, Mrs. Dennison, and Mrs. Horning. we appreciate you picking up food in the hallway. Someone had spilled some food in the morning, and Noah stands out in the morning and chats with the teachers, and he noticed that there was, and it says, when no one else would, which is kind of like thanks for cleaning up when your classmates left a mess. So it's nice when kids step up and do those kinds of things. And then I have Maria Herman from Mr. Drugan. Maria always completes her work in a timely fashion. She's very conscientious about her grades, and she's a pleasure to have in class. And our last one is Adam Peacock. Adam, this is from Mrs. Wolf. Thanks for your help with setting up artwork in the board office. And that's really nice. Our kids, if you go over to the board office, a lot of their own personal artwork is in the display cabinets over there. So she appreciated that. And then I had one other thing that I wanted to point out. I have Mackenzie Dean here with us tonight. We started a couple of months ago our coffee shop, and I really didn't have anyone to run the shop. It's during their lunch period, so Mackenzie stepped up and said, hey, I'll do it, and if you just teach me how to make these coffees, I'll take care of it. And she really does. She makes everything. She cleans up after herself, which is fantastic. She leaves little notes on my door when we need more supplies. I find little notes from Mackenzie. So she's actually drummed up business. She's got a group of kids that come in almost every day. So it's really nice to have her here. And so I thank Mackenzie and Mrs. Dean for bringing her tonight. But then I need to confess that I'm a big giant liar. But that's not really the reason we brought Mackenzie here tonight. Mackenzie, come on up here. Mackenzie, I want to congratulate you because you are our 2016 Jason Argonaut for the season.
Oh!
Mrs. Dean didn't know why. She thought she was.
We didn't even know either.
And she just asked me about it today. It was pretty funny. I got this email that said, "Hey, have you heard anything about this?" I'm like, "No, I haven't heard anything." I'm sorry. To be the Jason Argonaut, that's our STEM program that we have here, and the students had to really go through quite an arduous application process. They fill out written applications. Don't cry. Don't make me cry. They have to do a video application, so Mackenzie had to produce her own video to submit to the Jason project. They had to have letters of reference from their teachers and personal letters. It's quite a process to apply, let alone be selected. Then once we filter through all of them here, they're sent to the people in Virginia, the Jason project, and they sort through them all, and they make a selection. So Mackenzie gets to travel. I'm kind of jealous. She gets to travel to the Bahamas this summer. And if you'll indulge me for just 2 minutes, there's a nice video on the institute that you'll be traveling to, and I wanted to share that with everyone. So congratulations again. I'm very proud of you.
Welcome to WaterlooMeetings. My name is Aaron Schultz, and I'm the director of the Cape Loop Institute. This facility functions as a hub for research, education, and outreach, and connects people to the environment. Welcome.
not yet. Wow, congratulations, that's just phenomenal. It's nice to see happen and enjoy. Okay, that takes care of our student recognition. I thank everybody for coming. You are more than welcome to stay and attend the entire meeting, but we understand if you leave. You're welcome to stay, you're welcome to go, whatever suits your evening plans. And again, congratulations to everybody for the hard work and the effort, and this is really, we started this a couple years ago, and I think it's really nice to see, kids get rewarded for the things that they do. And a lot of them are just being good people, which is also a big part of the learning experience, is learning to be a good person. So you can be the smartest person in the world, but if you're not a good person, you're not going to get very far. So we're very proud of you guys and very appreciate it. And like I said, you're welcome to stay, or you're welcome to. We understand if you'd like to go also. So.
Might have a few phone calls to make.
Yeah, just yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think that's how we should do it every time. That was awesome. Jay straightened all the chairs up.
Okay. That brings us to Mr. Longenecker. If you'd like to talk about the girls' basketball presentation.
I'm kind of offended everybody bugged out.
If we ever need a room cleared, we'll make sure we invite you.
I guess. Just wanted to, was asked to bring an update a little bit and provide some information about the exciting opportunity that we have as the girls' basketball team to play in the San Diego Round Ball Classic in San Diego, California in December. So what you have before you is some of the logistics by all stretch of the imagination, not everything all encompassing. Some details are still being worked out even as we speak as far as events and things that we'll be attending while we're out there. But the organization that we're working with, Dan Hodges is director of Team Sports Travel, and they have worked with, in our neck of the woods, the Ohio State Buckeyes when they played in the Holiday Bowl in the San Diego area. They've handled the arrangements for them. So very reputable company and feel very comfortable with them. I'm not going to read everything down there for you. I'll be glad to field some questions. I'm sure there's a question I would have as to how. We're going to have to do extreme fundraising to make this happen, and our goal is for basically we say no one left behind, 100% fundraising opportunity for this to raise money for the venture. And then the why, I guess, is something that I would probably be asking, and it's not, while that would be a neat thing, the time spent in San Diego, it's more about the journey from now till then, get that accomplished, and which is something that now beginning my third year here, we're working on changing just the way we, if you're a sports movie buff and you go back to remember the Titans, want to change the way there's the one scene in there, we want to change the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we eat. We've been working hard at changing our mindset a little bit, and we're trying to permeate that through to other groups as well, to believe that you can achieve great things, and to do that, to tackle some goals that are, again, to quote another movie, The Miracle. When Herb Brooks was asked, "Why do you want to take on the Russians? Why do you want this job?" That's a pretty lofty goal, and he said, that's exactly why I want to do it. So we're trying to challenge. I'm trying to challenge their thinking. I'm trying to challenge them to get out of the box a little bit and to raise their level of self-esteem, if you will, confidence, and we're real excited about what this can do for us. So again, it's not so much about going out there and playing 2 basketball games in sunny, beautiful California when it's going to be snowing back here. It will be nice, but it's about the I'd be glad to field any questions quick. I'm gonna take a time though.
How many players are you planning on taking?
Yeah, that's always compared, depends on the roster, tentative numbers, 16 to 18. It is a varsity JV event.
Okay. And how many games will they play?
We'll play 2 games out there.
And you got plenty of, as far as it looks like you're gonna have, from the interest you got so far, you have plenty of adults and chaperones
Yes,
and all
right
that?
now, as I put on there, I say at the worst case scenario, we're gonna be a 3-to-1 ratio adults to, we'll probably have to beat a few off of the stick, actually.
Great, that's nice.
So I feel very comfortable with that aspect of it as well.
Now, is the fundraising gonna be individual? I know you're doing the pancake breakfast.
Predominantly all group related, we've encouraged the girls to do the things that you can do to help supplement that, whatever it is, mow yard, whatever, things that you can do on your own, but we're going into it as a group. And we've got a great forum, parents working on that already, so that's exciting. Seeing some good things.
Any of them said, I'm not interested in going, I mean, what would be a?
There's been a couple hesitations, from parents of the younger kids, and this might be their oldest child, and maybe first type of an event like this, so, and you know what, if there's a student athlete that, they're not able to go for that reason, not because, we're not gonna let money be a reason, but if mom and dad say we'd rather they not go, then so be it, that's fine. But, that was a very isolated piece.
And when do you need, I guess, do we need to act at some point? When do you need us to do that? Next month, this month?
Next one, be okay?
We really need, we're in go mode.
Okay.
So, I mean, airline reservations and things, and
Okay.
it would change
Sooner the
drastically
better.
if we waited
Sooner the
30
better. Okay.
minutes or
Okay.
30 days, it
Okay.
would change the outlook of that tremendously.
Okay. Just as a side note, I took a bunch of Waterloo students when they were 10 or 11 or 12 or something like that to New York to play baseball in the Field of Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And now those little boys are 23, 24-year-old young men. And to this day, every time I see them, they hug me.
Yeah.
To this day, it was such a bonding experience. And then I would come up to the school, and the English teachers would say to me, they went when they were in primary school, maybe 4th, 5th grade, something like that. The literature teachers would say, that the boys would write their essays were all about this trip that they took, several years earlier. So it can just be a great bonding experience, and really just great for, that group of boys are still tight to this day. I mean, they get together once a week for dinner, no matter what. They all still, they go out to dinner and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of things like that can just last a lifetime.
Now, have you ever been a part of doing a big?
Absolutely, that was one thing I wanted to add. When I was at Walsh University, I was our ops guy as far as all our travel arrangements, and we traveled Florida, Final Four, so we participated. So, and I was the guy that made all the arrangements for that, so I've done this numerous times.
My only concern is just the fundraising. If we, go all this way and fundraise, but then we're still short, how are we going to handle this?
Well, I guess there's 2 trains of thought you can get on there, and I'm always a guy where the glass is half full. So my response to that question, which has come up multiple times, is that's not an option.
Okay.
So, it's not an option. We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
So I respect that question.
Good way to answer that. So much of sports are X's and O's, and there is so much to be said for having an opportunity to go outside of that X's and O and work on self-esteem and teamwork and a common goal, and to bring those kids together. And I just appreciate your forethought to see these kinds of efforts as valuable as far as player growth and team stability, and I'm really excited the way the program's going. So thank you.
Appreciate that.
And I look forward to eating pancakes on Sunday and eggs and the whole bit. So
Is that this Sunday?
It's the Sunday of the kids.
yeah, and that's at the Knights of Columbus. on
Yes.
Waterloo
Yes.
Road,
Yes.
St. Joe's.
That's fantastic. I think that's great that you're gonna, put yourself out there and take these girls, give them an experience that they may never, ever be able to do. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think the benefits are tremendous, so.
And really, it's just a different atmosphere because we've been doing that for years with our trips to Washington DC and things of that nature. It's just maybe a little bit of a different focus.
There you go.
And so it's not unusual, it's just something maybe a little bit different for us. And I encourage you to take it and run. So it's a
I definitely
positive
think it's
thing.
a positive movement for our sports that's already struggling a
Yeah.
little, so it's
It's a
give
great
them
thing.
something.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean,
I was gonna say that too. I think that, watching, this is my first year here, watching the basketball team, I can't remember when I heard how they struggled the year before, I was very impressed with his leadership and maturity and how he works. I've been to a few games, not all of them, but a handful of games, and I was
We
always,
win when you were there.
sometimes, yes. Yeah, but I was very impressed with coach's work with kids, and just a real maturity there, real leadership, and I feel pretty confident that the girls are going to be on track.
I mean, one of the biggest reasons we wanted to change new leagues was to help boost self-confidence in our players and our athletes. And I mean, what a better way to do it than to make them want to strive to actually compete with another team and be with one another.
Yeah, we wouldn't try to bite something off like this if the kids we were working with weren't good kids and, didn't play support. I don't think we'd even thought twice about doing something like this. So this is looking forward to it.
Good. Thank you.
When you can scoot, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, following along on the agenda here. I guess that brings us to roll call. Todd?
Fletcher,
Here?
Whittlesey,
Here.
Pusateri,
Here.
Gum,
Here.
Brock.
Here.
Okay, item 4 on the agenda, can we have a motion to adopt the listed agenda?
Move.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Any comments or questions? Roll call, please, Todd?
Whittlesey,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Fletcher,
Yes.
Gum,
Yes.
Pusateri.
Yes. Okay, item 5 under the president's report. I have a scheduling conflict the night of our May meeting. Right, May's next month, right? Yeah, May 12th, or it's gonna be May 12th. Just wondering if there's any alternate days that are good, or if you guys just wanna go ahead and go without me, I understand completely, but, what day is the May board meeting?
The 19th.
Oh, the 19th. Okay, so it's the following Thursday. I mean, does anybody have any real, the 5th or like the 9th?
I'm good on the 9th.
I can't do the 9th.
Oh, you got
You
your
can't do the 9th,
thing to do.
okay.
What about the 11th? Is that bad? Yes, that's bad.
I'll just make it work if you guys can everybody do the 11th?
I can do the 11th.
Yeah, no problem.
It's fine.
Sean?
Yeah. Works. Same time?
Todd, you're good for the
Yep.
11th? Okay, so we're gonna move that to the 11th. I better put that in my calendar
Let me
right
check
now.
our calendar real quick for the district, just in case.
Good?
Yeah, there's no,
Okay, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your understanding.
It's not the same without you, Brian.
Well, that job gets in the way. The job gets in the way of all the fun stuff that we get to do, making a living stuff, so, we're all painfully aware.
I mean, I am gonna miss Jesse's game against Rootstown.
Oh, well, we
Just
can't do
kidding,
that.
just kidding.
We don't wanna miss a baseball. Well, that starts at 4, right?
I don't know.
It'll be over by then. We will have won by then.
We'll sweep them real quick.
And they-
Sweep them quick.
Yeah, that's right.
Did
Um,
not happen today.
Okay, I think, other than that, I didn't have any other business, so I'll bring us the superintendent's report.
Okay, a couple things here very quickly. The following students, I've been promising to make this announcement. The following students took the chemistry Olympiad exam: Hannah Lindsay, Nash Benton, Sam Merchant, Shelley LeBeau. Want to say congratulations to that fine group of students. And also, Shelley qualified for the national exam, which is at, I said Shelley.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You got a clean hearing aid out.
Getting old.
What?
Rough crowd. Rough crowd.
Anyway, Shelby qualified for the national exam at Hiram College, so congratulations to her and the group. Also, I want to commend, so far, a great effort by our students taking the air test. We no longer are involved with the park testing, which is a very good thing, I think. And from what I hear, our students gave a great effort. Our teachers have been working very hard to get our kids ready for that, and I'm sure that will continue. But I just want to congratulate everybody involved with that. I know it's been very tense, been very quiet in certain parts of the building, so just want to say congratulations to all the kids working hard on that. And finally, we have, I just want to introduce very quickly, fellow graduate here from 2001. This is Maddie Martin, and she is attending the University of Akron to become a science teacher. And part of her assignment was visiting board meetings, so we wanted to welcome her and good luck to you. And that's all I have. Thank you.
So we'll try to behave.
Yes.
We don't want your paper to get. Yeah.
Okay, item 7, treasurer's report, Todd?
Yeah, just a comment on, next month is May, that's the month we required from the Ohio Department of Education to bring forth the revision to the current year's 5-year forecast. So I'd just like to say at this point, we are currently tracking right on with our projected expenditures and revenues. So I don't anticipate bringing anything forward to you that will look vastly different than what you have seen. And more importantly, we are tracking pretty much right on where we've told the community back in 2013 when we passed the emergency levy that we would get out through 2017. And we're currently tracking right where we anticipated we would be. So I think moving forward, we're in a spot where we watched where we spent, how we spent, and we've been very conscientious of what we told the voters back in 2013, and we tried really hard to do what we said we would and get out as far as we would when they were gracious enough to pass the levy for us back in 2013.
Great. We really appreciate your efforts to keeping us on track and letting us know where we're at along the way. So you guys, the whole team, really excellent. Thank you. Item 8, student liaison. It looks like
She's not.
is she grounded? Okay.
She cannot make it.
She cannot make it. Okay. Item 9, the high school principal.
Mr. Bremen stole my first topic, so I just wanted to.
I wasn't listening. I don't hear so well.
So,
Right.
Kent,
One
since
ear first and then the other.
There you go.
How does that
since
work?
Tori's not here to steal your
Right,
thunder,
then,
he
yeah,
thought he
he
was.
stole it instead, right? I can't win. The air testing did begin for our high schoolers this week. They've done a tremendous job. We had to also be a little bit more flexible. We had to rearrange our schedule to allow for a little bit of time. Something interesting happened that hasn't happened in years past, and that was our students took the full amount of time on the test, the very first one out. Typically, they kind of get through it, rush through it. One of the major concerns that teachers have is, oh my gosh, I had a kid that was done in 20 minutes. How can that be? So the fact, I think, for me, the fact that they took all the time and we had to be a little bit more flexible with our schedule was a good problem to have. It really meant that our students were taking it very, very seriously and took all of their time handling the very first test, and it's been that way the rest of this week, so it's been really well. They've done really well. in recognizing students, I went to the Akron Touchdown Club dinner this past Monday, and we were there with Becky Adelman and her family, and Will Bolwantz and his family. They were recognized by that organization as Portage County athletes, so it was really a great evening, and to see them standing up there amongst all their peers it was a proud moment. Next week we have the Maplewood Merit Assembly. This was kind of interesting. I got an email from the principal there inviting us to this Merit Assembly, and of course I wasn't quite sure what that was. I said, Craig, what is this? And he said, well, it's an assembly that we have to honor kids who volunteer their time. And he said it was unique, he said, because schools typically don't have more than one student recognized, and Waterloo had 3. So he's like, I would love to have you here. Out of the 14 students recognized for their volunteerism, 3 of them were from Waterloo. So I'll be going, I think Mr. Brayman is joining me for that next week. We also have the None for Under 21 trip. Again, I thank the board for allowing the students to go there to that trip. That's the seniors only. It's at Hiram College. It's for driving under the influence, and it's a great presentation that they go to kind of right in this whole season for prom and everything else that's going on. We have a Red Cross blood drive again next week, the last one of this year. It seems like we do that a lot, but the Red Cross turns around and provides scholarships for our students due to our donations. So it's a really pretty much an easy way for our students to earn a few scholarships, so we're all about it. And then at the end of the month, our Waterloo Band has been invited to participate in the Kent State University Partnership Concert. So our kids get to perform at Cartwright Auditorium at Kent State, and then the Kent State Band performs as well. So it'll be a great evening to see our students up with the university students performing at Kent State. So I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Just wanted to dovetail a little bit on that volunteerism. We started recognizing students for that, less ballpark 5 years ago. And it is astronomical, the number of hours some of those kids, I mean, we're talking hundreds of hours some of the students spend volunteering, and that's just,
When we recognize it at graduation.
yeah,
You
it's
hear those numbers, and it's staggering.
it is really impressive, so great job. Okay, that brings us to Mr. Walker.
Good evening. Just a few things like we were talking about with Coach Longenecker about traveling. My first point was to just point out what a fantastic time we had on the Washington, D.C. trip with our 8th grade students, and I wanted to commend our 8th grade teachers especially for all of their work in organizing all of that and making sure that it just ran completely smoothly. We had a couple of our student teachers went with us, and so they helped in the chaperoning responsibilities. And I was just proud of our Waterloo kids too, because everywhere we went, they were just well behaved and mature. And we cut up a little bit. We ran down the sidewalk one time, but that's what you do. Anyways, we had a great time, and we even got to go see the White House, and it was closed for a while. And then our tour guide, the guy that we work with, I forget his name off the top, Dan. Yeah, he said, he kept saying, we're going to get back there. We're going to get back to the White House. So we did. We spun up around the block, and we were like looking out the windows, and we could see the one area was open. So we jumped out of buses and ran up there and got to see that. The middle school and high school, our testing actually starts next Monday. So we'll be doing language arts tests on Monday and Tuesday of next week. And then our math tests are the following week, and then science and social studies the days after that. And we, Mr. Streeter and I worked with our teachers and our school counselor, Peggy Shaver, to give our teachers, they wanted as much time as possible to prepare the kids before the test. And so we were going to be all aligned with the high school, and after some thought, we said, we were able to push our tests back a little bit. The middle school is investigating the idea of doing some type of fishing club activity. Jeff Swanson, who is a district employee, a bus driver for us, he is an avid fisherman, And through some connections with Steve Jones and Mr. Brayman, we kind of got the ball rolling. And so Jeff is going to come out on April 26th for an after-school presentation with our middle school kids. That's just a one-time thing right now, just to kind of generate some interest and get the ball rolling. And he works with a group that goes into public schools and or any school, I guess, and they will offer fishing equipment, tackles and lures and baits and that kind of stuff. So we're working through Jeff to communicate with that group, and I forget the name of the group, but he said they go to several different schools.
What's the date again?
April 26th. And then just an update on our middle school track. They're doing very well. Coach Kackner and Coach McKay do a real nice job with the kids. And again, it's one of those situations after school when those kids are out in the hallways and running around the building and outside. They're just doing a great job. And I commend the coaches for the leadership, and I commend the students for their hard work as well. Also, in consultation with the elementary school, Mr. Streeter and I have been asked by the Atwater Lions Club if we would like to do a clothing drive. And so I think we're going to get some, they're making some big boxes for us. And during the month of May, I think, Mr. Streeter, we're going to invite people to bring in coats and boots and that kind of stuff. And then they have a process already set up where they're going to launder the coats and everything if they're used. And then we can store them until next year, and then we can have coats instantly available to offer to students if we notice that a kid doesn't have that. So just a way to work with the Lions Club on that. And then finally, our middle school art teacher, Pamela Shago, is working on our Portage County Art Show for this school year. And the setup is tonight or tomorrow, I think. And then the judging will be next Monday. And then followed by an awards ceremony next Thursday evening up at NeoMed. I have a note here from her. It's open in the evenings, I think, and people can walk through and look at the artwork. So you don't have to go to the ceremony. You could actually just go through any night you have a chance to get up there. So I'm really impressed with Mrs. Shago and her willingness to do this for us. She's spending several evenings of her time on it, so we appreciate that. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Good evening. Like Mr. Walker discussed, we start testing on Monday. Our teachers have been doing an excellent job over the last, I'd say, month and a half, really prepping our kids. And that's kind of been a debate in education is, are we teaching kids to the test? Are we, only worried about test taking? And I would argue after many observations of our teachers that they're not teaching kids to the test or just preparing them to take a test. They're teaching a lot of analytical skills, problem-solving skills that will benefit students not only in the K-12 realm, but also once they leave the schoolhouse doors. So I would say that our teachers have been doing a really good job of preparing our kids with a variety of abilities that will help them succeed on the test. But I don't ever want to say we're just focusing on passing the test, because I think they're doing a wonderful job of really giving them some skills that will not only benefit them here and on the test, but also in life. So I wanted to commend our teachers on that. Like Mr. Walker said, Monday and Tuesday we start the ELA test for air. The elementary also has STAR testing going on, tests for SLOs going on. So we're really hammering tests. They have the third grade reading guarantee, spring opportunity in the next couple of weeks. So April's kind of a testing rough month for both teachers and students. And then we get to May, where all the fun starts happening. In May we have our kindergarten registration the first couple weeks. Our honors choir students sing the national anthem at the Rubber Ducks game on May 4th. I believe Mr. Raymond, you got 70 tickets for family, I heard.
70?
It was a large number.
Doesn't give me all those out, I guess.
And the honors choir then performs the following evening for the school and the parents. We have Teacher Appreciation Week in May. We have our limo lunch ride for the spring fundraising. Kids are really pumped about that. We got to announce that yesterday. They take a limo to a Pizza Hut here in Ravenna. Then we have a 4th grade music performance on the 19th of May. We have a volunteer breakfast that we do with the PTO, where we recognize all our volunteers that do a variety of things for our students, from helping with field day to coming into classrooms and reading with individual students. We have a lot of awesome volunteers here. So we recognize them with a breakfast on the 25th of May. Then our last couple of weeks at Water Department organized something for the 1st of June called Touch a Truck, where they'll bring all their emergency vehicles in and let the kids kind of roam through them. And they, Paul Bachman at Atwater also got in touch with Portage County Sheriff's Department to bring in some of their equipment and vehicles. So the kids will get to see a lot of cool vehicles on that day. That's the 1st. Then our kindergartners graduate on the 3rd, which is always a fun event. And then we have awards assemblies on the 6th and 7th, where we honor all our elementary students. And then field day is the 8th, and it's a wrap for the year. So the rest of April is just a very trying month because we have a lot of testing, and it's definitely a lot of stress on everyone involved. But then once May kicks off, we have a lot of cool events for students and families. So we're looking forward to May.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, all three of you. We appreciate it. Maplewood update.
Okay, I had an opportunity to go to the National School Board Conference in Boston this past weekend for the beginning of the week, which was really educational and fun. I was able to listen to a couple really good speakers. One of them was Dan Rather. I could have sat and listened to him all day. Very, very educational. He had some good points that I'd like to look into as far as a couple different countries, Finland and Singapore, that do things a little bit differently with their funding for schools and how they don't have to take all the tests that we all have to do here. And they're like one of the top schools in the country. Thought that was pretty cool. Another speaker I got to listen to had to do with child neglect, abusive, a lot of different things. And I grabbed a pamphlet because I just thought this was something that I'd like to share with you to have you look at it. And it's a Speak Up and Be Safe, and it kind of has it's based out of Arizona, and it's aimed at preventing child abuse and bullying and things like that that's going on in our schools right now. So I thought that was really, really informative, and she touched on Jenna's Law. I don't know if anybody's aware of Jenna's Law, but a lot of different informative things and how the teachers can pick up on signs that I never even realized was out there. So I found that very, very interesting. I emailed the March minutes to everybody. I hope they all got them. And that's really about all I have right now. Until next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I was typing notes. I wasn't being rude. I was typing. Actually, see? Legislative update.
Well, in terms of legislation, no, but I did want to add something to Mrs. Sandell about the None for Under 21 program that I attended 2 years ago whenever I was a senior. Going into that, I was just trying to get out of another day of class before graduation. But coming out of that, shaking all the victims in the parents' hands and learning of their stories and everything else, it was a real eye-opening experience, and it was definitely good. It made me drive a lot safer after that, I can guarantee that. So I think that's a good thing that we do for our children. So it's good.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Adam. Any new business? do the board members need to bring up at this point? Okay. Then that brings us to the consent agenda. May we have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Comments, questions? Well, let Sean hit the highlights first, and then,
For the sequence business.
yeah, under the consent agenda, yeah. And then,
I just want to point out a couple, one thing here with EF and G, approving the contract with WEA, OC, and the school building secretaries. Just wanted to commend the leadership of those three union groups. They were very easy to work with, and we appreciate that. And it was just very evident to me of the great people that we have in our district working with all three groups. So I appreciate that.
okay.
And that's all I have.
Any comments from Todd?
No,
On
if you
treasurer's
have any
business?
questions, If you have any questions, feel free.
Okay. I just have, any comments from any other board members? I just have one comment. Due to item E there, which is the contract with the WEA, I will be abstaining because I have a family member that is a part of that negotiated agreement. And as part of the abstaining is I am completely out of the loop during any negotiations and talking about negotiations or any of that kind of stuff. So it is a complete abstention from that whole process. So just wanted to let people know that's why. It's not doing it because I disagree with anything or anything like that. So, okay, roll call, please, Tom.
Okay. Gump,
Yes.
Fletcher,
Yes.
Whittlesey,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Pussenberry.
Abstain. I almost said yes. Okay. That brings us to the executive session. We have a motion to recess an executive session.
So move.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Fletcher,
Yes.
Whittlesey,
Yes.
Gump,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Pussenberry.
Yes.
And I'm assuming we're not gonna come out of anything, right?
No, we're not gonna assume that. No, we're not gonna. We'll be out eventually, but we're not assuming anything else. I'm
We're not coming back into,
We will resume,
Okay.
other than that.
Are we doing that when we come back?
We did that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I should have abstained too.
We will have action coming out of the meeting, the executive.
Well, we are not going to roll it out.
Okay.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, we're not rolling out the options.
As we're in there for hours and they're still sitting, think we're gonna come out.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay. You're more than welcome to stay. Or you can run and get pizzas, so when we all come back out.
Yeah.
I know, my stomach's starving. I actually,
Did you? Remember.
yeah, I mean, there's so many, not even so busy, just, you know, when I came around.